All right, I think we're going. Welcome back to another one of these things. You don't know, but this was actually a second take. So I'm going to hold it here for a second and see if any one of those frames ends up being a recommended thumbnail. Second take because I forgot what I wanted to talk about. Went on like a weird train of thought thing, and I'm just like, where was I going with this? But you didn't have to know that. You didn't have to know. I'm just being very forthright here with you. This is us now, being very real about this being a second take because I don't know how to stay on topic. All the more reason why I need to actually just start using that editing software on my laptop and not just do like one take of these things that might as well be a live stream. Anyway, hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday, and it is in fact Tuesday. Main reason I recognize that or know that is because I had to write a haiku today, which isn't like a bad thing. I say that kind of like it's work. It is, but it's not. It's not like something I don't enjoy. I do rather enjoy putting together my little 3 lines to go with one of the photos that I have taken, usually recently. Not right now. It's obviously I'm not going out taking pictures as much as I used to, out of fear of getting within 6 feet of some other human being for a little too long. But hopefully something that gets turned around soon. Right now it's a lot of just pictures from like travels that Heather and I have gone on in the past, things from like South Africa and New Zealand, which are all really nice pictures. So I do enjoy writing poetry around those. They're very inspiring things to actually write about. So it's definitely nothing that I'm like sore about that I don't have like a lot more photos from around here to write on. Though this week's one was from a photo around here. It's not a particularly interesting photo. It's of a dandelion. It's like a close-up of a dandelion. And for some reason, I really like dandelions. Not sure why. When I was posting about it, I'm like, it might just be a nostalgia thing. Like, I liked picking them as a kid and blowing on them and watching all of the little seeds just sort of float away on the wind. It was just, I don't know. I get this fleeting feeling of nostalgia when I see them for some reason. Not sure, but that's out there. If people want to take a look at that, the little bit of poetry there and a decent picture of a dandelion. I don't really know what to say. It's not like it's going to be like the most inspirational thing. You've probably seen a dandelion before. So maybe I should assume. Who knows? Anyway. Things to chat about today. This time, I wrote myself a little note so I know what it was I was going to talk about, so I don't have to go off on a tangent again and not know how to bring myself back in. So, today, actually I have done this a few times recently. I was able to get out there and start running again. It's finally not like below freezing. And I am being picky about the temperatures that I'm going to go running in these days. When I was sort of in training mode for 5Ks, I was still running in the very cold weather. Frankly, I'd go for probably like not like very long runs, but like probably like 2-mile runs in the teens degrees Fahrenheit weather, which is cold. That's below freezing for those in Celsius, in Celsius land. That is rather cold. And just as the years have progressed, not that it's been that many years, it's been like 2 years, but over the past couple of years, I've noticed like my hands just get very, very cold when I'm running. And there's like nothing I can do to stop these things from feeling like they're going to fall off myself. So I'm a bit discouraged to go running when it's cold outside. Like particularly cold outside. And like I said, I've been kind of picky too and been waiting for like that high 40s into the 50s range to start running. In past years, like breaking 20 or 30 was just like, okay, yeah, I'm just time to go out there. This is fine weather. And like I have the gear for it. It's just I don't know. I guess I just don't like putting it all on and then having to like peel it all off when I get back. All just for like a 2-mile run. But we did hit 50s today, so hello spring, and I was able to go out and do a bit of running. The reason I kind of bring it up is just it's one of those interesting relationships with exercise. Like I had gotten a fair bit of running clothes, running gear, I suppose. It's shirts and shorts, sweat wicking stuff. That way it doesn't like pool when you're, or like sweat doesn't pool in the clothes when you're running. Things get heavier and they like grate against your skin. I don't really like it. The sweat wicking stuff is kind of nice because it just sort of floats off of you. But I had gotten a fair number of clothes, a fair amount of clothes, I suppose is the right word, the right phrase to say, for running in. And like, I'm like, okay, I should probably start actually using this because I've been like recycling the same 2 pairs of clothes, same shorts and shirt that I have, for like over a year and a half. And honestly, like, I think they just kind of have a smell at this point baked into them. So it's good to have that new gear. So excited to go actually use that. And I had mentioned that it's like, well, when I was just getting ready, I still had some tags on it because they were things from around Christmas and I hadn't worn them yet, so I still have tags on them. So I take them back to kitchen where I have some scissors and cut them off. And I'm like, wow, just like I have so many new clothes from people from people that I can use for running. And Heather's like, it's because you don't give us any gift ideas and all you ever do is say that you like running. And I'm like, I wouldn't say that I like running, which is kind of a weird thing. I had to think about it for a bit, where running is one of those interesting things for me. It's like, it's a little distracting actually right now. Rose is like ripping a little like foot thing off of a duck toy. So she's going to town on something right now. If you definitely can't hear that, but if the off chance that you're just like super raise the volume on this, you might actually hear fabric tearing, and that's Rose. But I had to think about it for a little bit because I'm like saying these things out loud, like, yeah, like, do I ever feel like running when I'm about to go run? And if I was honestly asking myself that, probably not. I'm not always looking forward to going to do something that isn't like me doing something I would kind of rather spend my time doing. But do I feel good about myself after I do it? Like 95% of the time. I generally tend to feel better after I go for a run. And I wonder if that's a bit of why I like to do that. I know there's always that bit of like, I know I need to exercise because I get flabby. I get flabby if I'm not doing anything. I'm flabby now. At least I feel like it after going through the holidays, and like I kind of stopped working out like entirely like from November until now. So that's a long time of me not doing like literally anything from like either a strength training or cardio perspective. So like up here looks like generally okay, like nothing really changed about me, but it's kind of like, yeah, I should probably like get a little bit more toned up again. I'm definitely a little flabby. So definitely like that exercise aspect. I like how I look after doing that for some time. Like my having been running for a while, having been working out for a while is a state that I generally enjoy myself in. And running helps me get there. So that is probably a very strong reason for it. But thinking about it, I might actually also enjoy the act of running as well. I don't think about it too much because honestly it's just kind of a time to think while I'm out there just sort of running. When I was, maybe it was like a year and a half ago, when I was still training for 5Ks, I would keep an app with me that would track how well I'm not how well I'm running, but how quickly what my pace is essentially over the course of my run, and I'd just load music onto it too. So I'd be listening to music that helps me kind of keep a pace, the right running pace that I want. And while I was doing that, I might like listen to the music or sort of get like caught up in that music and in the experience of running. But sometimes I also just think about like how work went that day or how something could have went better. I'd very much like when I ended a day on like a bad meeting or something, I'd like tend to think of like replay that, how it could have went better in a lot of ways too. So it's definitely a time that isn't solely me just doing that exercise. There's always something else going on. And maybe that's like a nice aspect about running too, is that once you I shouldn't assume that this is how it is for like everybody, but at least for me, once I got past that first hurdle when I was training, I was using Couch to 5K, and running was something that I had to actively know that I was doing. Like I was sort of very knowledgeable or very in the know that I was currently running and wasn't doing much other thinking than you got to keep going, you got to keep going, you got to keep going. And that's probably a pretty tough hurdle to get over. Like if I'm experiencing that, then I'm assuming I am not unique in that regard, that some people have at least some people have that too. But once you do get beyond that point, if you do stick with it for a bit, I do think you can get to a state, or at least I'm a person who used to be stuck in that state when running, where I had to think about running while running. And now I can sort of think about other things as I run. So it's really just a way to do something while thinking about something else. And that could be designing or a problem or reconstructing a scenario, like I was talking about with like meetings and things, or generally planning for going to do something once I get back home and after I shower, because I'm very stinky and I get sweaty. But I'm sure a lot of people do that. But yeah, it's like one of those things that, like in retrospect, I think this is the hardest part about it. The probably the reason that made me say I don't quite enjoy running isn't quite that I don't enjoy it in the moment. It's not that I don't enjoy it after I finish running. It's always like just going to do that. It's like going to do the thing. Even when I know I will probably enjoy it. Like it's nice outside. A nice breeze. Get the sun on you. And like if I'm going like for a run like around a lake or a pond or by some woods or by a park, like there's scenery and things to take in. Or I could be listening to music or thinking about what I want to do next or planning or something. There's a lot of versatility to what I can do while I'm running. So it's never really the act of it itself that's off-putting. And like 95% of the time, I feel better after I went for a run. Like there's a rare chance like I like bugged my foot or something when I was running, but that's very rare. There was the one time I totally like just face planted. Like I was trying to turn and the ground was slick and I just like totally went, if I was like this running and then I went to go make a turn and I just went whoosh, just totally sideways and boom, straight on the floor. Ground. I landed on the ground. There wasn't floor and on the outside places. And I didn't feel particularly good that time. But that is a bit of an exception where I fall down while running. I think that has probably only happened once. Maybe twice. Because in those times when I did run in the cold, I might have like slipped and fell. Not as bad as that one though. That one was bad. Yeah, that one was really bad. That one was worse than the time where I thought I was gonna outrun our dog and I ended up just tumbling to the ground. Heather still has a video of me doing that she's planning on releasing at some point to make me feel really bad or something. I was waiting for her to give me a thumbs up, but she never did. But yeah, so I guess it's never really I guess really the only hurdle there, or why I think I wouldn't like it, is that I don't necessarily like changing what I'm currently doing to go for a run. Like it's that concept of switching gears that's hard, that I don't really like doing. It's whatever I'm doing now, even if it is nothing, it's that like thought of exerting myself that's like, do I really want to exert myself right now? Wouldn't I rather go sit down or take a nap or read a book or play a game? But it's something I kind of know I need to do, or kind of, I say need to do, it's something I want to do to reach a certain state of like well-being. So when I'm doing it, it's like, this isn't bad. This is actually kind of nice. And afterwards, it's like, you know what? I feel really good that I did that. So really, it's just that beginning part. It's just the starting part. So for those who are starting running, do realize that the desire to go do the thing is likely going to persist way beyond the first time that you start running, just like you starting anything. If for me, it's like for starting to edit like some of these videos. That'll be something that I'm starting likely next week, where I'm just wanting to play with video editing. Will I be very reluctant to just go do that and sit down and do something? Probably. Because it's a new thing and it's different than what I'm doing, and for some reason, reluctance is like the default thing that people do. But once you're in there doing it, it's like, you know what, this isn't so bad. I'm actually kind of enjoying this. And then when you're done, you're like, you know what, I'm proud of myself for doing that. And really, the only negative feeling there was the hurdle at the beginning. That's not even that big of a hurdle. It's just a matter of doing it. Anyway, that's probably enough rambling for one day. Thanks for sticking around and listening to someone talk a bit about thinking about why they particularly don't like running, only to realize that they like every aspect of it, and the only thing that's tough about it is getting off my butt. Maybe some of this was entertaining, slightly insightful, or in some other way valuable to you. I certainly hope so. But yeah, we'll call it at that. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday, and we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.